Hello and welcome back to Viralstyle Academy. Again, I'm your host, Luke Stassi, teaching you the basics of how to get started selling t-shirts online through Viralstyle. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through some general rule of thumb tips when it comes to budgets and spending money. This is for beginners as you're getting started because it can be pretty confusing in understanding how to navigate the waters to get to the place of having sales. So I'm going to give you some just rule of thumb tips that are going to show you, hey, if this is happening, do this. If this is happening, do this. So that you can hopefully get the ball rolling and start getting your first sales happening. So knowing how to make money decisions in the beginning as far as how much to spend and what to budget, it can be tough in the beginning. And it can be kind of confusing, honestly. So here are just, this is my tips here. So in your first 24 hours, you want to spend $15, okay? That would either be creating one ad set with one target audience that you're spending $15 to reach, or it could be that you're going to create multiple ad sets that total up to $15, such as you would maybe create 3 different ad sets of $5 each. To do something like that, the purpose of it would be to create different target audiences for each of those different ad sets. So back to our German Shepherd example, one of those audiences could be to German Shepherd fan club, one could be to German Shepherd lovers, one could be to German Shepherd something else. You're just basically choosing different target audiences for each one and then giving them each $5, and you're testing to see if one does better than the others or how it all turns out. So that's part of the strategy. Or you just create one ad set that you think is going to be good and then you give it $15. But $15 is kind of that magic number in the first 24 hours that you're wanting to spend to collect enough information to see if your shirt is going to sell or not. You also can, in a little bit more of an advanced strategy, you can create one ad for page post engagement and maybe set it at $7.50, and then create one ad for website conversion and set it at $7.50. So again, you're spending $15 total, but now you're running 2 different types of ads rather than just one type of ad. So these are different ways you can test and see, because different ones are going to perform and do better than others. So you really have to test, and this is part of long-term growing in this. But the goal is to spend that initial $15. After $15 is spent, here's the criteria I will give you as you're getting started to help you to make those initial decisions. So if you've spent $15 and you have 0 sales, the first thing you got to do is ask yourself, is there good social interaction? So what I mean by good social interaction is that when you open up that post and look at it, are there a lot of comments and likes and shares that are showing that people really like it, maybe that they just haven't bought it yet? To give some general rule of thumb, I would say you're looking for maybe 10 or more comments and maybe 15 or more shares, and really you want as many as possible. And you want people to actually be saying, I want this, I need this, I must have this, or tagging somebody and saying, buy this for me. And if you click on the shares, you can actually open those up and see if they wrote anything with it, like, oh, I love this, I need this, I got to buy this shirt, whatever it is. But you're wanting to see a very, very strong indicator that even though no sales have happened, that people are really reacting very positively and desiring this shirt, and maybe it's just you haven't hit that right person, or maybe they'll come back and buy it tomorrow. So if this is the case with the good social interaction, I recommend you let it go for a little bit longer, maybe spending $20. But if you get up to that $20 mark and there's still no sales, I would go ahead and just turn the campaign off. You've run into some sort of problem. So either your design doesn't work, or your targeting on Facebook is wrong, or you have a niche that doesn't buy. It's one of those 3 is the culprit, and you might not know which one it is, but altogether it's adding up to no sales, and you just unfortunately need to move on, and you need to try either redesigning your shirt, or you need to try retargeting to a different audience, or you need to just move on and find a new niche altogether. So those are the questions you have to ask yourself if you don't have sales. So if you have $15 that you've spent, no sales, and you're looking at it and there's not good social interaction, so you're maybe under just about 10 comments or under 15 shares, or there's nobody at all saying, I like this, I want this, I need this, must have it, then you just need to turn that campaign off. You've given it $15. That was a test to see if it would work or not. But especially if you're not getting those comments of people saying that they want it or need it, and you're not getting those comments and shares, then this campaign, there's something wrong. You need to just turn it off and move on to the next one. So now if you've spent $15 and you have one sale, that means that you're breaking even. So you made about 15 bucks, you spent 15 bucks, but you want to try to keep this thing going and seeing if it eventually will find legs. I would say if you've had one sale at 15, I would let it run to maybe another $25 or $30, and it needs to pick up another sale. Really, you want to see two sales by 25. So at that point, you've made about 30, you've spent 25, so it's not super profitable, but you're hoping that Facebook is going to optimize your ad in time. But if you have one sale and you run it to 25 or 30 and you don't pick up another sale, again, you just need to go ahead and turn off that campaign, because unfortunately you do not have a winner. It is not selling. So you got to kind of set these hard rules, and it can be difficult in the beginning. I remember a few times spending $30, $40, $50 trying to get a campaign to work, and it just wouldn't work, and I was just wasting my money. So you learn the hard way that you got to just cut your ties sometimes and move on to the next one. If you've spent $15 and you've got 2 or more sales, this is great news. First of all, you're making money, which is awesome. That's the most important part of all of this. And it's great because now you have the opportunity to increase your campaign to make more money. So to increase a campaign, what we do is we call that scaling. So scaling a campaign is that you're basically trying to put more money into the campaign so you can reach more people, so you can make more money. So the goal would be to try to increase that total campaign budget from maybe $15 to $20 after that first day, and then continue to increase it periodically after that if sales continue to grow and increase accordingly. If you're going to increase that budget, you're going to watch it for another day, and again, just see what happens, and then compare it to the day before. Did you make the same amount of money? Did you make more? Did you make less? If you made less, then maybe we need to take a little bit of money away and go back to $15 a day. But if you ended up making the same amount of money or more money, then you might want to try to increase that budget again. We say recommending that you maybe increase your overall campaign budget by 20 to 50% per day. If sales drop, then you're going to end up decreasing that budget kind of accordingly. And I'm just giving you some general broad stroke concepts here with this stuff so you can understand how to increase and decrease. If sales are happening and you're looking to increase your total campaign budget, what we're finding right now is that ad sets are tending right now to run their best at about $10 or $15 a day. So the best way to increase your budget is by creating more ad sets, which you're going to do by targeting other audiences. So you could have one audience targeted to different interests, or you can just plug it in, you open it up and you try a different location, maybe a different country. But normally you're going to be trying a different interest. It'd be one interest for German Shepherds and another interest for German Shepherds. So you would try to increase your budget some by spreading out into some other target audiences. So the idea here is that it's better in general. You're going to see better results from having 5 ads at $10 each rather than one ad running at $50 each. So right now, Facebook is not optimizing super well when it comes to very high budgets. So you have to kind of try to figure out how to create more ad sets and then get in there and see what they do and how well they do. And the ones that don't get any conversions, you end up just turning them off. The ones that get conversions, maybe you can end up bumping them up to $15 a day, and you're just kind of letting it run and trying to get more of a reach. So in this next slide here, I just posted a little screen grab out of a campaign that I just launched yesterday to give you an idea of what helps to make some decisions in here. So the budget is what I have the budget at now today, but what I had yesterday was I had budgets of $10, $10, $10. I had 3 different ad sets running for one campaign. In that first day, they each spent $6.52. So altogether, that's $19.50 or whatever that is. And I ended up with 5 checkouts, which is great, a really, really low cost per checkout. So what I'm looking at here in the columns, which in Facebook, you can go into the columns and you can choose to view which columns you want. So I'm looking at amount spent and how many checkouts I had, my cost per checkout, how many people I reached, what was my frequencies, how many times they've seen the ad, and then if they shared it, how much the shares cost, how much the clicks cost, how much was the click-through rate, cost per impressions. These are some of the kind of the key data indicators that you'd be looking at to try to make the best decisions. So, but the basic here is I spent and how many checkouts I had. So since all of these had sales and they all did well, I increased each of their budgets to $15 a day for today. And then I'm monitoring to see if sales happen or not. And then so obviously if sales come in, then we may add more ad sets, but if sales don't come in, then I might bump all these back down to $10 a day. So again, this is me giving a very simple introduction into some budgeting so you can get some good criteria for yourself as you're getting started to help you make the decisions so that you can know what to do when you're inside Facebook and you are trying to market and this all seems so foreign. This is just some little guidelines of how to get you going. So I hope this helps, and you can apply this methodology honestly over and over again. It just kind of scales out as you go. You watch your campaigns, you're trying to make sure that each ad set is making money for you. So, all right, thanks so much.